Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, and I've been covering Disney very closely these last several months. And the layoffs have started at Disney this week. We had heard that Bob Iger planned to lay off 7,000 employees. The truth of it is, he didn't really say he was going to lay off 7,000 employees. He said he was going to eliminate 7,000 positions. That was to be 4,000 people gone and 3,000 open positions not filled. Basically, instead of hiring for an additional 3,000 people, they would just lay off 4,000. But the layoffs that started this week, they're going to come in 3 phases, and it does affect a lot of employees, and it's not just going to be very low-level employees. This just came out from Hollywood Reporter. Disney layoffs hit TV production acquisition departments. The first names of those impacted by staff cuts have emerged as CEO Bob Iger plans to eliminate 7,000 jobs company-wide. And they keep using this number 7,000. While I do think there will be more layoffs than the 4,000 that Iger said, it's not going to be 7,000. It's 4,000. Why does it make a difference? Because you should know what's going on. That's why you're listening to the video in the first place. Now, in addition to this story, we have all heard that Victoria Alonso, co-president at Marvel, yep, she was a co-president, was fired and thrown out of Marvel a little more than a week ago. When she left Marvel, we didn't know that she was fired, but I thought she was fired, so I did a video called Diversity Fired. That was a reference to her and her whole push of the whole woke agenda and diversity, equity, inclusion into the Marvel franchise, destroying the Marvel franchise. Well, we learned that I was right, she was fired. But in addition to that, I did a video recently talking about how she's going to get paid out. You don't just fire a co-president at Disney and then not give them millions of dollars. How do I know this? As I explained, business experience. This just came out tonight. Disney and Victoria Alonso are reportedly in settlement negotiations after the company fired her last week. Well, of course. That's how these things work. There was the reason that, she was promoting a movie that she produced for another studio. If you know Disney history, you know that Michael Ovitz, who was hired by Michael Eisner, his friend at the time, to be kind of a co-president or chairman with him. They had all sorts of executive problems with him. Michael Ovitz just wasn't a good fit for the company. Very talented guy. But when he was fired, Michael Ovitz was paid $130 million. And this was years ago. This was before Iger was anywhere near CEO of Disney. So this is inflation adjusted. God only knows how much money this is. $200 million? They pay everyone. Talk about money. CEO Bob Chapek was earning $24 million a year. He earned that for 2022, even though he was ousted from the CEO position near the end of the year, and it was understood that he was paid out an additional $20 to $25 million as part of the settlement of his contract. Because even though Chapek really was actually a terrible business manager, so is Iger, but Chapek is terrible in a different way, Chapek was still fired, quote, without cause, end quote. That's per his contract. All this stuff goes to contracts. The more money you make, the more you're an executive with a big company, they don't just fire you and then they get away with it and it's goodbye. No, it does not work that way. Christine McCarthy, the CFO of Disney, Chief Financial Officer, that's an important position. She makes $20 million a year. Iger made $15 million so far for 2022, he'll make more money in the following year. So just so we understand, they do have a lot of highly paid executives. There are a lot of cuts that are going down. Let's get into this article further. Before we do, please be sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications and give me a thumbs up. So the layoffs have begun in Disney's television division. This is very telling because they're cutting back on a lot of production capacity. TV production, so they can not make as much new stuff, and acquisitions, where they would acquire talent, they might acquire programming. They don't need that capacity because they're cutting back aggressively on what they're producing. They are seriously shrinking the company, and this is more aggressive than I thought it was going to be. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Monday's layoffs focused on production and acquisitions. Among the notable staffers let go Monday are Jay Bieber, Senior Vice President of Production at Freeform Onyx Collective, Mark Levinstein, Head of Production and Post-Production at Hulu, and Elizabeth Newman, Head of Disney's Acquisitions Department. Sources note Newman's entire acquisitions team has been dissolved, while Bieber and Levinstein's production teams will be folded under Carol Turner, Executive Vice President of Production at ABC Signature. That team will continue to report to Eric Schreier, who Dana Walden promoted last year to President of Disney Television Studios, and business operations at Disney General Entertainment. Details on the size of Monday's layoffs or what percentage of Disney's workforce were impacted were not immediately available, as additional TV side layoffs are expected to come by week's end, with the largest round coming in April. Disney CEO Bob Iger warned Monday layoffs would be starting this week as part of a round of cuts that would eliminate a total of 7,000 staffers. In February, Iger said that Disney will trim 7,000 jobs as part of a streamlined restructuring that will focus on 3 divisions: Disney Entertainment, ESPN, and Parks, Experiences, and Products. The cuts, he said, are necessary for creating a more effective, coordinated, and streamlined approach to our business. Iger wrote in an internal memo on Monday, adding that senior leaders have been evaluating their operational needs since he announced the cuts. The third and final round of layoffs are expected to come before the start of the summer, Iger said. The staff cuts are part of a larger plan to create $5.5 billion in cost savings at the company, copying Warner Bros. Discovery, and come as other conglomerates are similarly reducing their workforce in a bid to streamline staff and right-size their ranks as a recession looms. We're already in a recession, but it looks like it's going to get a lot worse. Monday's moves eliminate siloed production divisions and consolidate that department into one unit covering all the TV side, while also eliminating a separate acquisitions unit. Iger returned to the CEO role in a stunning move in November after Disney's board ousted his previous replacement Bob Chapek after only 2.5 years in the role. Iger's first action item since returning to the Mouse House was to oust Chapek's top lieutenant, Kareem Daniel. As part of Chapek's Disney restructuring, he tapped Daniel to lead the newly created Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution Division. The unit frustrated creative executives as Daniel had full control of all of Disney's non-parks revenue as he controlled the purse strings on spending for TV and film. Kareem Daniel, also had the authority to decide what projects were going to be released in what platform. So it could be that you're making a movie at Pixar or you're making a movie in the film division for any of the production units, and you expect that you're going to release your movie theatrically, but Kareem Daniels says, nah, we're going to put it on the streaming service, or nah, we're just going to release it to cable, or nah, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that. Completely ridiculous concept to get control of production, which it did not work, and it also inflated costs tremendously. After throwing out Daniel, Iger folded DMED and restructured to give full financial oversight back to creatives and tapped Walden and Alan Bergman to oversee Disney Entertainment, with Jimmy Pitaro continuing to lead ESPN and Josh D'Amaro running the Park and Products division. For her part, Bieber had been with Disney since 2009, starting as a producer at Disney Channel before rising through the ranks at ABC in production and operations. She served as vice president of the department for more than a decade and earned her senior vice president stripes in 2018 when she added Freeform to her purview. Levinstein, meanwhile, had been with Hulu as the head of production and post-production since mid-2019. So it kind of makes you wonder, why these people? Well, because legitimately they need to produce less stuff. They had too much duplication. Imagine in comic book publishing companies, why would you need 5 different publishing company offices unless being independent really improved the quality somehow and really maintained the culture somehow? They don't need all that extra overhead. They've had the overhead for a long time. Bob Iger has always been a poor manager, a great deal maker, getting his hands on Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, incredible, really, truly brilliant. But that does not make you a good manager. It makes you a good deal maker. Deal makers should not be managers, as Bob Iger is showing now. So these people are getting punished because they got stuck with Bob Iger as their manager, and the layoffs are tremendous. I'm predicting much more layoffs for Disney for 2024 because look at this. They may have gone ahead and let go of 4,000 people. And 4,000 people is a lot of people. Again, it's not 7 because they're just not hiring on 3,000 more people. So they're letting go of 4,000 people. In 2022, they had a 220,000 headcount workforce, which was a 15.79% increase from 2021. So they added 30,000 people between 21 and 22. And now they're laying off 4,000 and not hiring 3,000 more? Well, that's not even the number of people that they hired over the last period of 2021 to 2022. They're laying off people, they're consolidating resources, but not nearly enough. They're going to have to cut a lot more. And Bob Iger is basically afraid to admit the horrible mistake he made by taking on all the debt he took on when they bought Fox, and now they have all this woke stuff damaging their brands. The Marvel franchise is much weaker. The Star Wars franchise is so weak, they can't even release a Star Wars movie. Who knows? Is Marvel going to get that bad? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, let me know, are you happy or sad that I was right about Victoria Alonso? If you come to my channel, I'm going to give you my take. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I'm going to tell you how I think it is, even though people were really annoyed with me in the comments saying, oh, she doesn't deserve any money, she doesn't deserve any money. And I had to tell people she's getting money whether she deserves it or not. And her contract probably says that she did deserve it in terms of what she promised to do and what she actually did. Did you think Bob Iger was ever going to go through with laying people off? I mean, at the point where he says it publicly, he kind of has to go through with it. And did you know that Disney, while they're laying off 4,000 people, they hired 30,000 more before that? Why don't they lay off 40,000 people, right? Like, why do they need these extra 30,000 people if they're consolidating the company? That would be interesting to know. If you know, let me know in the comments below. All right, let me know what you think. I always love to see your comments. I really do appreciate you. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.